Chapter 2315. Chapter 2315. Bubbles' Strength. Chapter 2315. Chapter 2315. Bubbles' Strength. In the blink of an eye, Tianming and On Yibing had exchanged dozens of moves. At this moment, Tianming was actually starting to gain the upper hand. Tianming, what terrifying combat strength! He can actually suppress On Yiming. Many people were shocked. One must know that Oyu Yabing was the strongest illusionary emperor among the younger generation in the Heaven Realm. Back then, although he was defeated by Lu Ming, it was only because Lu Ming was too freakish and not because Oyu Yibing was weak. And now, even destiny was able to suppress Oyu Yibing. Tianming, as expected of the second-ranked genius of the primordial realm. He's too shocking, and his talent is terrifying. That's right. If the primordial realm had not produced an even more abnormal Lu Ming, he would have been invincible. The laws of fate, every single one of them is abnormal. Once they grow, their achievements will be limitless. The surroundings were filled with the sound of discussion. Many people sighed. Destiny talent was terrifying. In the future, he would definitely be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Ninju, and even surpass some of the Ninju. However, everyone thought of Lu Ming immediately. Although destiny was strong, it was still suppressed by Lu Ming. Everyone sighed. It was not that destiny was not strong, but Lu Ming was too abnormal, and could not be understood with common sense. 11 Yabing roared in anger. He was actually being suppressed by the heavenly fate. He was unwilling to accept this, and wanted to erupt with all his strength. He attacked madly, wanting to turn the situation around. He formed all kinds of divine weapons and attacked Tianming. Unfortunately, these divine weapons kept exploding and shattering under the attack of Tianming. The more Tianming fought, the stronger he became. His advantage continued to increase, and he completely suppressed Oyu Yiming. Bang! In the end, Oyu Yabing was sent flying. He spat out a large mouthful of blood as he was sent flying out of the battle stage. Oyu Yabing had been defeated. This heaven's favorite, who had been known as the #1 Void Emperor, had been defeated once again. What powerful strength! The primordial realm really produced a few prodigies. Other than Lu Ming, Tianming should be the strongest among the Void Thearchs. Yes, among the Void Emperors, no one is a match. Many people were discussing that Tianming's reputation had reached its peak. Some of the 9 absolutes looked at Tianming with a serious expression. When Tianming became a true emperor in the future, he would definitely be a huge threat to them. However, Xian Yuan-yi and Lin Xiaofeng's eyes were calm and revealed great confidence. Tianming didn't continue the challenge. He left the fighting ring and returned to his seat. Now, it's time for the battle between the 9 absolutes. Many people thought in their hearts and became more and more expectant. However, at this moment, a small figure appeared on the fighting ring in a flash. That is, a space-time spirit mouse. Many people's eyes moved. Bubble. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Bubbles was about to make a move. It had been many years since he had seen Bubbles in action. Lu Ming wanted to see how strong Bubbles' combat strength had become. The top 10 war beasts had amazing talent. Now that they had received guidance from a mighty figure of the Heaven Realm, their progress would definitely be amazing. Bubbles' gaze swept around and finally landed on Hung Xinghe and Yuan Xian. The two of you come up. 111 let you join forces. Chirp chirp. Bubbles pursed her lips, and the crisp sound reverberated throughout the entire area. This guy is indeed going to challenge the Star River and Yuan Xian. Lu Ming smiled. Hung Xing River and Yuan Xian had a grudge against Lu Ming. In the past they had been targeting Lu Ming. Bubbles naturally remembered it. Hung Xinghe and Yuan Xin's expressions turned ugly. I alone am enough to deal with you. The one I defeated back then. Why do I need 2 people? Yuan Xian said indifferently, and rushed up the fighting ring. You can't do it. I'll defeat you in 1 move. He pouted indifferently, revealing a look of disdain. Ha ha ha, defeat me in 1 move? Ridiculous, simply ridiculous. Yuan Xian laughed crazily. Bubbles actually said that she wanted to defeat him in 1 move. She couldn't even fulfill her destiny. Who did she think she was? What a joke. You make the first move. 111 let you make the first move. Otherwise, you won't have the chance anymore, chirpy. Paoba said, as if she did not care about Yuan Xian at all. Yuan Xian was furious. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Yuan Xian shouted and rushed toward the bubble. At the same time, he unleashed his strongest combat strength. Yuan Xian did not dare to be careless in the face of the spacetime spirit rat. He used his strongest combat power in his first attack. He was surrounded by all sorts of laws as he charged towards Bubbles. However, when he was halfway there, his body froze in midair. The various laws that covered his body disappeared without a trace. Yuan Xin's expression changed drastically. With a furious roar, she once again controlled the laws, but each moment the laws appeared, they disappeared. Time law, it's time law. Using time laws to control the power of time, traveling through time, returning to the moment when the other party didn't use any laws. Therefore, once Yuan Xin's laws came out, they disappeared. How terrifying! Many people saw the trick and were shocked. This was already mobilizing the power of time. He was only an empty emperor, but he could do this. He was indeed worthy of being a space-time spirit rat. At this moment, Bubbles appeared in front of Yuan Xian and kicked her in the face. Yuan Xian was sent flying out of the fighting ring like a broken sandbag and landed heavily on the ground. She spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face was completely swollen. She had lost. Yuan Xian had lost. Bubbles had really only used one move. Many people were shocked. Bubbles' combat strength had exceeded their expectations. Tianming's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at Bubbles with a solemn expression. Useless, Paoba muttered, no longer looking at Yuan Xian. This caused Yuan Xian to spit out another mouthful of blood. That was anger. Today, Yuan Xian had suffered a huge blow. He had wanted to defeat Tianming and take revenge for the humiliation he had suffered back then. However, in the end, he was easily defeated by destiny. Now he was defeated by Bubbles in one move. Back then, Bubbles had been his defeated opponent. Now, however, she had defeated him with a single move. This was hard for him to accept. Bubbles ignored him and swept his gaze across the remaining young men. Those who were caught by his gaze had a change in expression. Will he challenge the heavenly mandate realm? Many people thought so. In the end, Bubbles did not challenge heaven's will. Instead, her gaze fell on Oyu Yibing. You come out and fight. Bubbles pointed at Oyu Yabing and said. Oyu Yabing's face was extremely dark. Bubbles actually challenged him? But today, he had to fight the challenge. He couldn't back down, or his reputation would be completely ruined. He stepped out and landed on the fighting ring. Although your space-time nomological laws are profound, it also depends on the opponent. If the opponent's strength is greater than yours, your space-time nomological laws will not work. I'm not Yuan Xian. I'll use a powerful force to directly break your space-time nomological laws. Oyabing said. Many people were moved. That was indeed the case. And MBSB RHE space-time laws were extremely profound and unpredictable. They could manipulate the power of time and space, making them terrifying. However, there was no law that was truly invincible. When one's power reached a certain level, one could break all laws. As long as one's strength was strong enough, one could break through the space-time laws. Chapter 23:16. The Great Battle of the Nine Supremes. Chapter 23:16. The Great Battle of the Nine Supremes. You talk too much. If you don't make a move, then 111 make a move. Pao Pao mumbled before suddenly charging towards the other party. His speed was extremely fast, as though he was traveling through the void. Oyabing did not dare to be careless. He used the divine weapon seal technique, and surrounded his body with all sorts of weapons. The weapon trembled and shattered the void, stopping the bubbles from attacking. Oyabing's strength was indeed much stronger than Yuan Xin's. His combat strength was shocking, and could already affect Bubbles' space-time law. Therefore, Bubbles naturally could not defeat Oyu Yeming as easily as she did with Yuan Xian. However, after the two of them exchanged blows, Bubbles still had the upper hand. Bubbles' figure flickered. No matter how Oyu Yeming attacked, he could not hit Bubbles. In fact, under the influence of Bubbles' space-time laws, Oyu Yeming's speed had slowed down significantly. The speed at which he could form the divine weapon seal had also slowed down significantly. After a few dozen moves, he was sent flying by Bubbles, and was severely injured. Yabing had been defeated again. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He had suffered 2 consecutive defeats today, both at the hands of the Primordial Realm's elites. The Space-Time Spirit Mouse's talent is indeed amazing. It's only been a few years, and it's already reached this level. That's only natural. The top 10 beasts will all be peak experts when they mature. What do you guys think of the Space-Time Spirit Rat's combat strength compared to Tianming's? It's hard to say. I feel like the Space-Time Spirit Mouse is stronger. Not necessarily. Many people discussed animatedly. While they were shocked, they couldn't help but compare Tianming with Papa. Both of them had defeated Oyu Yabing. It could be said that they were standing at the peak of the empty Emperor realm. However, it was really hard to compare who was stronger. And NBSB in terms of laws, the fate laws were indeed stronger, even stronger than the space-time laws. However, a law also depended on who was using it. The space-time spirit mouse was born with the ability to control the space-time laws. No living creature could compare to the space-time spirit mouse in the use of the space-time laws. Those so-called sons of God could control the laws of time and space, but they were far inferior to the space-time spirit rat in the use of the laws. Therefore, it was hard to say who would win. Many people were curious. Would Pow Pow challenge the heavens next? However, everyone was disappointed. Bubbles did not challenge Tianming. As if she had had enough fun, she left the fighting ring in a flash. After the bubble disappeared, no one at the empty Emperor realm went up to challenge him. Many people revealed looks of anticipation. Next, it was the main event, the battle between the 9 Ju. This time, the reason why so many people had come was to watch the battle between the 9 absolutes. More than a decade ago, the 9 uniques had fought each other and ranked each other. In the past 10 years, the 9 uniques had rarely fought. Everyone wanted to see if there had been any changes in the ranking of the 9 uniques in the past 10 years. Buzz! A figure rushed up the fighting ring. It was the Black Tortoise Forest. As expected, he is the first one to make a move. The Black Tortoise Forest is ranked last among the 9 absolutes. I wonder if he'll be able to charge up this time. It's hard to say. None of the 9 absolutes are weak. We'll only know after we fight. Everyone expressed their own opinions. Next, the Xuanwu Forest began to issue challenges. The Heaven's favorite he challenged was ranked 8th among the 9 absolutes. The two of them exchanged many moves, but in the end, the Black Tortoise Forest was defeated. He was no match for the other. The Black Tortoise Forest wasn't willing to give up. After taking a pill to adjust his condition to the peak, he challenged the 7th-ranked genius, but he was still defeated. In the end, he was helpless and did not continue to challenge. His ranking remained at 9th place. Following that, it was all the duels between the 9 absolutes, and the intense battles continued. The 9 absolutes were all existences who had stepped into the true Emperor realm a long time ago. Their powerful combat strength attracted everyone's attention. This was especially true for the Heaven's favorites below the Void Arch level. They could learn a lot by watching carefully. The exciting battles continued one after another. However, there were very few changes in the rankings. In the past, those who were ranked higher would indeed have stronger combat strength. It was still the same until now. There was only one change. The 5th-ranked Heaven's favorite defeated the 4th-ranked Heaven's favorite and replaced his position. As for the others, the rankings basically didn't change. Soon, the 3rd-ranked genius defeated his opponent. He turned his eyes to Xianyuan Yi and Lin Xiaofeng. In the end, he challenged Xianyuan Yi, who was ranked 2nd. You're overestimating yourself. Xianyuan Yi stepped forward and landed on the fighting ring. I will defeat you within 10 moves. Xianyuan Yi said indifferently, full of confidence. 10 moves? Xianyuan Yi, you're overconfident. The 3rd-ranked genius. His expression was a little unsightly. I'm already giving you too much credit by saying 10 moves. Do you understand? Let's go. Xianyuan Yi said indifferently as he charged toward the 3rd-ranked youth. The person in 3rd place was a young man in blue. He had fought with the prince of a foreign race outside of Two World City, and was defeated. Back then, he had the battle power of an 8th-level true emperor. Now his combat strength had undoubtedly become stronger. Boom! The young man in blue exploded with all his strength and attacked with a terrifying sacred art. 10th level True Emperor battle power. Someone exclaimed. The young man in blue was much stronger than when he fought the non-human prince. His fighting power had increased by 2 stages, reaching the fighting power of a 10th stage True Emperor. It was already extremely shocking to have such combat strength at this age. Unfortunately, he had run into Xian Yuan. World power surged from Xian Yuan's body, and nomological laws permeated the air. A heavenly halberd appeared in his hand. Boom! The heavenly halberd was incomparably huge. It became the size of a mountain and slashed towards the blue-robed young man. The heavenly halberd was indestructible and extremely powerful. As it slashed down, all of the attacks and defenses of the young man in blue were completely destroyed. Boom! The blue-shirt young man's body retreated frantically. He was directly blasted tens of thousands of meters away, and his face was abnormally pale. A deep wound appeared on his body. It was so deep that his bones could be seen, and blood was flowing out. One move and he was severely injured. I've already shown you mercy. Otherwise you'd be dead. I've said it before. I'll defeat you in 10 moves. Otherwise I'll defeat you in 1 move. Xian Yuan said, and the blue-robed youth's expression turned ugly. 1 move. Xian Yuan had really defeated him in 1 move. The difference in combat strength between the two was too great. The scene was silent, and many people were tongue-tied. This result was far beyond their expectations. The young man in blue, ranked 3rd among the 9 absolutes, had been defeated in 1 move despite the huge difference in combat strength between him and Xian Yuan. Everyone had thought that even if the young man in blue was no match for Xian Yuan, they would still be able to fight. However, the result was completely one-sided. He's a 10th level True Emperor, but he couldn't even withstand a single blow and was easily crushed. What level is Xian Yuan's combat strength? At least a rank 12 True Emperor. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to defeat them so easily. In fact, he might even have more than that. No wonder the Lan family offered 100 stones of chaos as a reward. Could it be that Xian Yuan can really defeat Lin Xiaofeng? Many people were discussing and guessing in shock. Chapter 2317. Number 1 of the 9 Absolutes. Chapter 2317. Number 1 of the 9 Absolutes this time. Many people had guessed that Xian Yuan must have made great progress and had amazing combat power. Otherwise, the Lan family would not have offered 100 stones of chaos as a reward. However, they were still shocked to see the 3rd-ranked genius collapse at Xian Yuan's hands. Perhaps Xian Yuan could really fight Lin Xiaofeng. Lan Cheng and some of the Lan family's older generation experts were all smiling. Lan Cheng in particular was stroking his beard with a face full of smiles and confidence. Xian Yuan stood on the fighting ring. He was tall and full of confidence. He looked at Lin Xiaofeng, and a firm and confident voice came out of his mouth. Lin Xiaofeng, come up and fight. Xian Yuan's voice reverberated through the entire area. As you wish. As soon as Lin Xiaofeng's voice fell, his figure was already on the fighting ring. Lin Xiaofeng, more than 10 years ago, you were lucky enough to win against me. Today, one will step on you and let everyone know who the strongest heaven's favorite is, whether it is the heaven realm or the primordial realm. Xian Yuan spoke with pride and confidence. 100 chaos gems, I'm definitely taking it. This was Lin Xiaofeng's answer, which was also full of confidence. Everyone's eyes fell on the 2 young figures on the fighting ring. These 2 people were the strongest heaven's favorites in the heaven realm and the primordial realm. Their future achievements were limitless and unpredictable. More than a decade ago, the 2 of them had a great battle. That battle left a deep impression on everyone and was still unforgettable. After more than a decade, the 2 of them were about to fight again. Who was stronger this time? Boom! Boom! A powerful aura burst out of Xian Yuan and Lin Xiaofeng. Their auras met in the void, making a violent roar. Explosive divine slash. A heavenly halberd appeared in Xian Yuan's hand. The halberd grew rapidly and pierced through the clouds. Laws revolved around it, and its aura was astonishing. Then, the heavenly halberd slashed down at Lin Xiaofeng. Buzz! The sound of the blade resounded through the entire area. Lin Xiaofeng's sword was unsheathed. An array of sword light rushed up and slashed at the other party. Boom! The two terrifying attacks collided with each other, causing the air to shake and the fighting ring to rumble. Endless energy swept out in all directions to the west. Both Xianyuan Yi and Lin Xiaofeng trembled and took a few steps back. However, the two of them stopped and stomped heavily on the fighting ring. Their figures were like two rainbows as they rushed toward each other. Boom! The two of them collided in the middle of the fighting ring, as if two stars had collided. The light of the blade and the halberd swept in all directions. Clang! Clang! Following that, the two of them engaged in an intense battle. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. What a strong combat power! This level of combat power is already at the 13th stage of True Emperor. That's right. You indeed have the fighting power of a level 13 True Emperor. You've actually reached such a level of fighting power at such a young age. It's really amazing. Many of the older generation sighed. In the past, among the younger generation, it would be considered good if one could become a true emperor at this age, let alone reach the battle power of a rank 13 True Emperor. This era was truly an era that made people go crazy. The two of them fought intensely on the fighting ring. As they fought, their auras became stronger and stronger, and the combat power they displayed became stronger and stronger. In the end, their battle strength surpassed the 13th stage of True Emperor and entered the 14th stage of True Emperor. This made many people gasp. Lin Xiaofeng and Xianyuan Yi's combat strength had already reached rank 14 True Emperor. The battle became even more intense. The two of them exchanged more than 200 moves, but neither of them had a clear winner. Lin Xiaofeng, is this your maximum combat power? What a disappointment. Xianyuan Yi's voice was heard. You're only SOSO. It's impossible for you to defeat me. Lin Xiaofeng said. Oh really? Lin Xiaofeng, today is the day one rise. From now on, I'm the number one in the world. Xianyuan Yi shouted and howled. Boom. The power of the heavenly halberd in his hand suddenly soared. The halberd struck out and collided with Lin Xiaofeng's saber. Lin Xiaofeng's saber trembled violently and finally exploded with a loud boom. Lin Xiaofeng retreated rapidly to the edge of the fighting ring before stopping. His chest heaved rapidly as he looked at Xianyuan Yi in shock. A rank 15 True Emperor. You've reached rank 15 True Emperor? Lin Xiaofeng said in disbelief. The scene was also in an uproar. Xianyuan Yi's combat power had reached the 15th level of True Emperor. This was too terrifying. He was so young, but he had already reached this level. A rank 15 True Emperor was almost at the peak of the True Emperor realm. Once he reached the peak of the True Emperor realm, he would be able to break through to the Great Emperor realm. Many of the older generation had to spend an unknown amount of time to reach this step. Xianyuan Yi, on the other hand, had reached this stage in less than 100 years. It was too shocking. The third place, the youth from the Blue Mountain, was only a 10th level True Emperor. The difference between them and a level 15 True Emperor was too great, terrifying. This is too terrifying. Is this Xianyuan Yi's true combat power? No wonder the Lan family is so confident. At this age, they have the battle power of a level 15 True Emperor. Who can match them? The Lan family's offer of 100 stones of chaos may seem generous, but they're actually confident that Xianyuan Yi will definitely get it and push him to the top. This is a brilliant move. Many people discussed and admired the Lan family's methods. Lan Qing stroked his beard, his face filled with a proud smile. After this, the Lan family would have two geniuses among the 9 absolutes. One of them would be the number 1 genius in the world. The reputation of the Lan family would be even stronger and reach the peak. In his hands, the Lan family would also become stronger and stronger. Lan Qing's heart was extremely comfortable. It's a pity that Lu Ming is dead. He didn't get the indestructible ancient scroll. What a pity. Lan Qing sighed in his heart. Boom. At this moment, Xianyuan Yi stepped forward, and his powerful aura pressed down on Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng, I've said it before. This time, I'll step on you and prove to everyone that I'm the number 1 in the world. Xianyuan Yi shouted, and the halberd in his hand grew more and more powerful. Fight! Lin Xiaofeng shouted, unwilling to be defeated. He became one with his saber and charged at Xianyuan Yi. However, the difference in combat strength was there, and it was difficult to cross. The difference between a level 14 true emperor and a level 15 true emperor was a real difference in combat power, not in cultivation. The two of them exchanged a few more moves, but Lin Xiaofeng was completely outmatched. He was blown away and spat out a large mouthful of blood. In the end, Xianyuan Yi's attack landed on his body, and he was sent flying off the fighting ring. Xianyuan Yi had won. He had defeated Lin Xiaofeng, who was originally in first place. Chapter 2318. Lu Ming's Son. Chapter 2318. Lu Ming's son Xianyuan Yi stood on the battle stage with the heavenly halberd in his hand. He looked like an invincible god of war. On the contrary, Lin Xiaofeng's face was pale and full of dejection. He had lost. From now on, he was no longer the number one in the world. The number one chosen of the younger generation had changed hands. Ha ha ha, good. Lanqing laughed so hard that flowers bloomed. Everything was just as he had expected. Nothing had changed. Xianyuan Yi had indeed defeated Lin Xiaofeng and won the title of the number one genius. His prestige would reach its peak, and the Lan family's prestige would rise as well. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? If not, this battle is over. Lanqing stood up with a face full of smiles. His voice resounded throughout the entire area. "Till do it." At this moment a clear voice was heard. Outside the square, a beam of light flew over at high speed and landed on the fighting ring. This was a 15 or 16-year-old teenager with an elegant demeanor and extraordinary temperament. However, when they saw the young man's appearance, many people were stunned. Lu Ming, Long Chun Huang Ling, Desolate Li Bubbles and the others were all stunned. At the same time, Lan Yun, Heng Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others, including Lan Cheng and the others, were also in a daze. Even Lu Ming himself almost bit his tongue. His eyes widened. It was because this teenager was too similar to Lu Ming. He looked 70 to 80% similar to Lu Ming, but he was more delicate. No, he's not Lu Ming. He's only 15 or 16 years old. It can't be Lu Ming. Someone immediately said. A person's appearance could be changed at will. However, their aura or life aura would not change. One could clearly tell a person's age from their life aura. This teenager was definitely not old. He should be around 15 or 16 years old. Of course, he could not be Lu Ming. Damn it! Could this young man be Lu Ming's illegitimate son? The unscrupulous monk muttered the name of Buddha and muttered softly. However, everyone present was an expert, so they naturally heard it clearly. Many people were moved. Perhaps this was really possible, because the two of them were really too similar. This monk. Lu Ming touched his nose speechlessly and looked at the unscrupulous monk in disdain. He was really overthinking, Lu Ming thought to himself. However, at this moment, the young man turned to the unscrupulous monk and cupped his fists. Master, you know Lu Ming? Of course. Lu Ming is my brother. We've known each other for decades. Young man, what's your relationship with Lu Ming? The monk said. It's my father. The young man said. Lu Ming had been drinking a mouthful of wine, but he spat it out at that moment. He looked at the teenager dumbfounded. The young man actually said that he was his son? Son. He had a son. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. At the same time, his mind was racing. Little Qing. Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He thought of Xian Yanqing. He had only had sex with Xian Yanqing, and the timing matched the young man's age. Furthermore, Lu Ming looked at the teenager carefully and realized that he did have some resemblance to Xian Yanqing. Could it be? Is he really my son? Lu Ming had an inexplicable feeling in his heart. This feeling was very wonderful and indescribable. The others, such as Long Chun, Feng Ling and Bubbles, were also dumbfounded. Brother Lu Ming, you have a son. Little Lu Ming? It really does look like it, chirping. Pow Pow cried out. Nest, I was just randomly guessing at the beginning. I didn't expect that I would be right. The unscrupulous monk's eyes almost popped out. Lu Ming. Huang Ling sighed and felt complicated. Lu Ming's son. The eyes of Lan Yun, Heng Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others glowed with a cold light. The Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor, the primordial body cultivators, and the Grand Supreme Elders all looked at Lu Ming with strange expressions. Lu Ming resisted the urge to rush out. It wasn't the time yet. Even if he was really his and Xian Yanking's son, it would be the same when they acknowledged him later. If he went out now and showed his true form, he would probably lose the 100 stones of chaos. Lan Cheng and the others would definitely not let him challenge Xin Yuanyi. Many thoughts flashed through everyone's mind. Senior, do you know where my father Lu Ming is now? The young man looked at the unscrupulous monk and continued to ask. He's cultivating in seclusion in a secret place, and won't be able to come out for the time being. The unscrupulous monk made up stories. What closed-door training? I'm telling you, Lu Ming is already dead. A cold voice sounded. It was Lan Yin. The teenager was actually Lu Ming's son. He was unhappy just by looking at him. What did you just say? My mother said that my father is unparalleled in the world. No one in the younger generation can defeat him. How could he have died? The youth glared at Lan Yin. What dog's hit unparalleled? You're just deceiving yourself. Lan Yin said in disdain. In my opinion, you must have been defeated by my father before. You must have even been tortured miserably. Otherwise, you wouldn't belittle him on purpose. The young man's eyes flashed as he said coldly. You. Lan Yin's face was flushed red. The youth's words just happened to poke his sore spot. He had been abused by Lu Ming more than once. He was miserable every time, and he had lost all his face. Ha ha ha, little Lu Ming, you're right. He's been tortured by Lu Ming. He's practically begging for mercy on his knees and crying for his parents. He has betrayed his ancestors. The unscrupulous monk exaggerated, directly implicating the Lan family. This made Lan Cheng's face turn ugly, and he wanted to slap the unscrupulous monk to death. As for Lan Yin, his face was alternating between green and green. All right, young man. You want to challenge me? Who do you want to challenge? Lan Cheng quickly changed the topic. The young man's gaze scanned the crowd of young heaven's favorites, and finally landed on the black tortoise forest. I want to challenge him. The young man pointed at the Xuanwu forest. What? Everyone was shocked. The young man actually wanted to challenge the Xuanwu forest. The young man was only 15 or 16 years old. How strong could he be at this age? It was already rare for him to become a great emperor, but he actually wanted to challenge the Xuanwu forest. No matter what, the Black Tortoise Forest was still one of the 9 absolutes. Its cultivation had long broken through to the true emperor realm, and now, it even had the combat power of a 6th-stage true emperor. How could he challenge Jiuju at such a young age? Black Tortoise Lin's expression darkened. He was actually challenged by a 15 or 16-year-old youth. It was already extremely shocking for a youth to have reached the 3-star Void Emperor realm at his age. However, the power that the young man cultivated was even stranger. The youth's attack did not have any nomological fluctuations. Clearly, the youth did not cultivate in the nomological system. However, it was not because of the ancient cultivation system, as the youth's power was even more terrifying than the power cultivated by the ancient cultivation system. Some of the older generation discussed in surprise. Nest, that's amazing. You're too awesome. As expected of Lu Ming's son, he defeated Lan Yin in one move. He's really amazing. The unscrupulous monk, Long Chun, and the others were also discussing in shock. This power. Only Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He had seen this power once before. Back then, after he had sex with Xian Yinqing, the next day, Xian Yinqing seemed to have changed into a different person and attacked him. This was the power that Xian Yinqing was using. It was indestructible, and its attack power was extremely powerful. It could even penetrate laws. He's really my son. At this moment, Lu Ming concluded. He felt inexplicably excited. The sudden appearance of a son made it difficult for anyone to remain calm. Lu Ming could not wait to rush out and acknowledge the young man, so that he could find out Xian Yanking's whereabouts. Since the young man was here, Xian Yinqing must be in the Taiqing heavenly region. He had to get to the bottom of this matter. However, there was no rush. It would not be too late to talk about it after the matter with the Lan family was resolved. At this moment, there were already experts from the Lan family who had saved Lan Yun. With Lan Yun's cultivation, Being cut in two was a small matter, and could be easily healed. The biggest blow to him was that he was defeated by the youth in one move. Impossible, impossible! Lan Yin kept roaring in his heart, finding it hard to accept. He had actually been defeated by a 15 or 16-year-old youth in one move. This was a great humiliation. Can't even withstand a single blow. The young man shook his head and turned to look at the black tortoise forest. Now we can fight, the young man said. Xuan Wulin's eyes narrowed slightly. He took a step forward and stepped onto the fighting ring. Buzz! Stars spread out from Xuan Wulin's body. There were a total of 360 stars that covered his entire body. The black tortoise forest didn't dare to be careless when facing the young man. Buzz! A pitch-black sword appeared in the young man's hand. Remember, the one who defeated you is Lu Shenhuang. The young man's voice rang out, and the sword light whizzed out, piercing through the void and slashing toward the black tortoise forest at an extremely fast speed. Divine Desolate Lu. Lu Ming's heart trembled slightly. Was this the name Xian Yinqing had given the young man? The Divine Wilderness referred to the Divine Wilderness continent. It also meant that it was the place where Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing met and fell in love. They had experienced unforgettable years in the Divine Wilderness continent. Heavenly Cycle Stellar Fist. Xuan Wulin shouted and waved his hands. One star after another flew towards Lu Shenhuang. Whoosh! 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 Lu Shenhuang's sword trembled and sword chi howled. Streaks of black sword radiance slashed towards the stars. Bang! Bang! The stars exploded like fireworks. Xuan Wulin's expression changed, and he burst forth with all his might. More stars were blasted toward Xuan Wulin. Every star contained the power of his laws. However, Lu Shenhuang's sword radiance was shockingly powerful, and could easily tear apart his laws. The two of them quickly attacked. The sky was filled with sword light and starlight. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. What a terrifying strength! He's a genius, a genius! Some of the older generation sighed. Of course, it was because of Lu Shenhuang's combat strength. His cultivation base was only at the 3-star illusionary divine stage. But he was able to compete with the black tortoise forest. This kind of combat strength was not only shocking, but also unimaginable. Everyone present was stunned and shocked beyond words. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming shook his head with a look of disdain. Xuan Wulin's lungs were about to explode from anger. Who was he? He was one of the 9 absolutes. But today, he was first defeated by Lu Shenhuang. Now, even a nameless person looked down on him. He was furious and filled with killing intent. Brat who doesn't know how to talk big. Show me your ability. The black tortoise forest roared. Hundreds of stars appeared all over his body. The hundreds of stars gathered together and blasted towards Lu Ming. The power was extraordinary. As soon as he made his move, the black tortoise forest used his killer move to blast Lu Ming into ashes. Boom! The huge star was like a falling meteorite, dragging a long tail with terrifying power. But at this moment, Lu Ming moved. There were no energy fluctuations on his body, nor were there any fluctuations of laws. It was just a simple punch. This punch relied on pure physical strength. Chapter 2321. Chapter 2321. Battling Xian Yuani. Chapter 2321. Chapter 2321. Battling Xian Yuani. Boom. Lu Ming's fist landed on the huge star. The huge star was like a bubble, unable to withstand a single blow. It exploded with a single punch. After shattering the star, Lu Ming's fist momentum did not stop, and continued to blast toward the black martial arts world. Wherever the fist force passed, the space would explode and shatter, forming a terrifying spatial storm that swept toward the black tortoise forest. The black tortoise forest was completely enveloped by Lu Ming's fist aura. It was as if the space in the surroundings had frozen, making it difficult for him to move. How is that possible? The black tortoise forest had this thought. Then, Lu Ming's fist landed heavily on his face. Bang! Xuan Wulin was sent flying out of the battle stage and landed heavily on the ground. He sprawled on the ground and spat out a large mouthful of blood. His face was completely deformed and swollen to the point where he could not be recognized. This Everyone was stunned and they looked at Lu Ming in a daze. One punch. With just one punch, he had defeated the Xuanwu Forest team. They were not on the same level at all. They were completely crushed. One must know that the Black Tortoise Forest's combat strength was also at the 6th stage True Emperor realm. However, it was still suppressed. Who was this person? They had never seen him before. How could he have such strong combat strength? The power of the physical body. He's an immemorial body cultivator. Suddenly someone exclaimed. Everyone's heart skipped a beat as they reacted. Just now, there were no fluctuations of laws on Lu Ming's body. He had relied purely on his physical strength. Only immemorial body cultivators could cultivate their physical strength to such a level. Gaoda's eyes lit up. He was also an archaic body cultivator. So he was naturally curious and excited to suddenly see another archaic body cultivator with such shocking battle prowess. I said, you're too weak. I don't want to torture you, but you're looking for it. Lu Ming spoke indifferently and cast a disdainful glance at the Black Tortoise Forest. The Black Tortoise Forest spat out a few more mouthfuls of blood from his anger. Today he was really too miserable. He had been defeated by 2 people in succession. One was a 15 or 16-year-old youth, and the other had dealt with him easily with a single punch. Today, he was destined to become a laughingstock and be ridiculed by others. Is there anyone else who would like to stand up for Xianyuan? Lu Ming's gaze swept across the young talents present. No one spoke. Lu Ming was able to defeat Xian Wulin with a single punch. His combat strength was unfathomable. If others were not confident, who would stand up for Xianyuan? Since you don't have one, Xianyuan, let's fight. Lu Ming looked at Xianyuan. He, you have some ability, but if you want to fight with me, you're still far from it. Xianyuan stepped forward and sneered. In his opinion, it was not a big deal to defeat the Black Tortoise Forest with a single punch. The Black Tortoise Forest's cultivators only had the combat strength of a stage 6 True Emperor. As long as they had the combat strength of a stage 8 True Emperor or above, they would be able to defeat him in one move. He, on the other hand, had the combat power of a ranked 15 True Emperor, which was much higher than that of the Xuanwu Forest. Therefore, even though Lu Ming had defeated the Black Tortoise Forest in one move, he did not take Lu Ming seriously. You talk too much, make your move. Lu Ming said. I've said it before. Swords and sabers have no eyes. If you accidentally go too far, you'll only have yourself to blame. Xianyuan said coldly, a halberd appearing in his hand. Thump. Xianyuan took a step forward and swung his halberd at Lu Ming. In the process of slashing down, the heavenly halberd enlarged rapidly. It expanded to 1,000 meters in length and slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step forward, and the fighting ring rumbled. He dashed forward and threw a punch. Lu Ming circulated his physical strength to the maximum for this punch. Boom! Lu Ming's fist and the heavenly halberd collided heavily. With a terrifying boom, Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward. He only stopped after he had retreated a few hundred meters. This person actually blocked Xianyuan's move. Many people were shocked. Although Lu Ming was at a disadvantage and was pushed back, everyone was still shocked. Who is this person? He has at least the battle strength of a level 13 True Emperor. There is actually such a heaven's favorite among the younger generation in the Heaven Realm? A rank 13 True Emperor was also impressive. Among the 9 absolutes, only Lin Xiaofeng and Xianyuan had reached a level 13 True Emperor. The one ranked 3rd only had a level 10 True Emperor's combat strength. This was almost the peak combat power of the Heaven Realm's younger generation. An immemorial body cultivator actually had such a heaven's favorite. Xianyuan's eyes narrowed, and a sharp glint flashed in them. He was also very surprised that he did not defeat Lu Ming in one move. Let's see how many moves you can take. Kill. Die. Xianyuan bellowed. Wielding his halberd, he charged at Lu Ming. My physical body alone is still a little lacking. Lu Ming muttered. Now that he had cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious technique to the middle stage of the 4th level, his physical strength alone was equivalent to a level 13 True Emperor. He was still no match for Xianyuan. Boom. Lu Ming threw another punch. However, this time, Lu Ming used the indestructible golden body from the indestructible ancient scroll. The inextinguishable golden body could turn one's body into a divine weapon. Not only did it possess a terrifying defensive power, but it also possessed a powerful offensive power. The combination of the imperishable golden body and the powerful physical body of the immemorial body cultivator complemented each other, and the power that erupted was extremely shocking. Law, it's the power of law. He cultivates the law system. That's not right. His physical body is too shocking. He's clearly an immemorial body cultivator. He's cultivating both his physical body and nomological laws. Someone exclaimed in disbelief. Cultivating one of them would take a lifetime of effort for many people. However, Lu Ming had cultivated two, and seemed to have achieved amazing results in both. Boom! Lu Ming and Xianyuan clashed for the second time. There was another violent boom. This time, Lu Ming and Xianyuan's bodies trembled violently, and they retreated. Hiss hiss hiss, gasps could be heard, and many people could not help but widen their eyes. They were evenly matched. Chapter 23-22. Chapter 23-21. First. Chapter 23-22. Chapter 2321. First. Xianyuan, he strode across the air, his halberd seemingly capable of splitting the sky as it slashed towards Lu Ming. Wherever it passed, the air was split in half, revealing a terrifying black crack. This kind of attack power was invincible among the younger generation. No one could stop it. Even Lin Xiaofeng would be defeated by this move. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm. To be honest, he did not take such an attack to heart at all. Boom! The muscles and bones in Lu Ming's body trembled violently at a rate of hundreds of millions of times per second. The vibration of his muscles caused intense friction with the air and space. Lu Ming's body dashed out and he threw a punch. The fist once again collided with the halberd. With a violent boom, the halberd exploded. Lu Ming's body swayed slightly, but he threw another punch. The punch pierced through space, bringing with it a spatial storm that swept toward Xianyuan. Lu Ming did not use the power of the world or other divine powers. He only relied on the strength of his physical body and the imperishable golden body. Xianyuan's expression changed drastically. His body glowed, and a heavenly halberd materialized in his other hand. He swung the halberd and blocked Lu Ming's fist force, but he was forced to retreat. Xianyuan was at a disadvantage, and his attacks were suppressed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's muscles and bones trembled. He did not even need to take a step as he charged toward Xianyuan. Boom! 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 Lu Ming kept swinging his fists. The terrifying power smashed the space into pieces. Moreover, Lu Ming did not care about defense at all. He only focused on attacking. Xianyuan roared. He wielded a heavenly halberd in each hand and slashed wildly, engaging in an intense battle with Lu Ming. After a few moves, Xianyuan's halberd struck Lu Ming's shoulder. However, Lu Ming's muscles and bones trembled rapidly, and most of the force was reflected back. At the same time, the imperishable golden bodice defense also blocked most of the force. The halberd attack could only leave a faint white mark on Lu Ming's skin. It could not even break through Lu Ming's defense. At the same time, Lu Ming's fist landed on Xianyuan. Xianyuan's body trembled violently, and the sound of bones breaking came from his body. He retreated rapidly and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Many people gasped in shock. Lu Ming's defense was too shocking. Xianyuan was no match for him. The two of them had similar combat strength. Each of them had managed to land a blow on the other, but Lu Ming was completely fine. On the other hand, Xianyuan was severely injured. Number one in the world? With this kind of battle power? Lu Ming said coldly. In the next moment, he charged toward Xianyuan and launched a new round of fierce attacks. Damn it! Outside the fighting ring, Lan Cheng was roaring in his heart. His eyes were filled with anger and coldness. Xianyuan could not be defeated. If he was defeated, his plan would be ruined. Moreover, he would have to give 100 yuan to Lu Ming. He would not allow that. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. He took a step forward, and a surge of energy rushed toward Lu Ming along the ground. On the side, the heavenly emperors of the other major forces sensed this, and their gazes flickered slightly, but no one said anything. Just as the force was about to hit Lu Ming, Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu snorted coldly and took a step forward. A force gushed out from the ground and intercepted Lan Cheng's force. Boom! The two forces collided, and the ground suddenly exploded, creating a huge pit. The force was wanton. What's going on? Many people were shocked. Lan Cheng, as the celestial Varch, you actually secretly attacked a junior. You're really shameless. Or are you unwilling to give up the 100 stones of chaos? Because Xianyuan Yi is about to lose. Since you can't bear to, don't say it in advance. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu said coldly. Many people turned to look at Lan City. When they saw the gloomy expression on Lan City's face, they came to a sudden realization. It seemed that Lan Cheng had secretly made a move when he saw that Xianyuan Yi was about to be defeated, but he had been intercepted by Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu. Detestable. Lan Cheng roared in his heart, but he couldn't do anything. He could only keep his face dark and not say anything. At this moment, the battle on the fighting ring was completely one-sided. Lu Ming launched a storm of attacks. He completely ignored defense and only attacked. Xianyuan Yi was no match for him. Even if he used all his strength to block, he wouldn't be able to take more than a few moves. Bang! Lu Ming's punch landed on Xianyuan Yi's chest, almost piercing it. Xianyuan Yi spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated. Lu Ming chased after him and threw another punch. Xianyuan Yi's body was sent flying like a cannonball. Half of his body had exploded, and he flew out of the fighting ring towards the crowd. Lan Cheng's face was gloomy. With a wave of his hand, a force wrapped around Lan Cheng and caught him. At the same time, it helped Lan Cheng to heal his injuries. He was defeated. Xianyuan Yi had been defeated. Lu Ming had defeated Xianyuan Yi with an absolute advantage. Everyone's heart was filled with complicated feelings. They knew that an even more terrifying heaven's favorite had been born. The poor Xianyuan Yi had just defeated Lin Xiaofeng and ascended to the throne of the first of the 9 absolutes. He had not even warmed up his seat before he was kicked off the throne. Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? Lu Ming did not look at Xianyuan Yi again. He turned to look in another direction. No one responded. Lu Ming's combat strength was so terrifying that even Xianyuan Yi could not withstand a single blow. Who else could be his match? Since no one is willing to accept the challenge, then he'll be the first place this time. Lu Ming turned to look at Lan Cheng and said, Master Lan, since I've won first place, the 100 Chaos Gems are mine, right? Lan Cheng's heart ached. 100 Chaos Gems was not a small amount. Even for the large Lan family, it was not easy to take out 100 Chaos Gems. Had thought that Xianyuan Yi would definitely win first place. Giving the 100 Chaos Gems to his son-in-law in Lan City would help him improve his cultivation. However, he couldn't bear to give away 100 Chaos Gems to someone else. Kid, who are you? I know you used a disguising technique to hide your face. You didn't even tell me your name, and you still want to get 100 Chaos Gems. What a joke. Lan Cheng sneered. He started to find excuses. Ha ha ha, Lan Cheng, you're going back on your word. That's not what you said before. You released the news that whoever ranked first among the younger generation would receive 100 Chaos Gems. Now you're finding so many excuses. I know that you must have thought that Xianyuan Yi would definitely get first place, so you took out the 100 Stones of Chaos for him. However, you used the 100 Stones of Chaos as a gimmick to attract others and set off Xianyuan Yi. You're toying with everyone in the world like monkeys. Lu Ming sneered. Nonsense. How dare you slander me? How dare you? Show your true form. I want to confirm your identity. Otherwise, don't even think about getting the 100 Stones of Chaos. Lan Cheng said. All right, since you want to see, then go ahead. Lu Ming said. With that, his appearance changed rapidly, and he returned to his original appearance. His aura also recovered. Lu Ming. After seeing Lu Ming's original appearance, Lan Cheng roared. Chapter 2323. Chapter 2323. Father and Son Reuniting. Chapter 2323. Chapter 2323. Father and Son Reuniting in Lan City. After seeing Lu Ming's appearance, he could not help but widen his eyes and shout. The others were also dumbfounded. How is that possible? Lu Ming, isn't he dead? Lan Yun, Hung Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others also roared in disbelief. On the other hand, Huang Ling, Longchun, Bubbles, and the others were overjoyed. One was wondering who had such powerful combat strength. It's Lu Ming. It's too shocking. How many years has it been since Lu Ming became a martial emperor? He's actually able to suppress Xian Yuan Yi, and is invincible in his generation. It's simply unbelievable. He only used his physical strength just now. He didn't use the power of laws. Indeed, the surroundings were in a clamor, and the sounds of discussion converged. The main thing was that Lu Ming's reputation was too great. Back then, he had become a great emperor with many laws. This was unprecedented. As soon as he became a great emperor, he defeated one of the 9 absolutes, the Black Tortoise Forest, and shook the entire heaven realm. A few years later, he defeated and captured a prince of the alien race outside Two World City. That battle pushed Lu Ming's reputation to the peak. However, it was nothing compared to today's battle. In today's battle, Lu Ming had defeated Xian Yuan Yi and ascended to the throne of number 1 among the younger generation of the Tian Yuan world and the Yuan world. It seemed that every time Lu Ming appeared, his combat strength would increase by leaps and bounds at a shocking speed. Father. At this moment, Lu Shenhuang stood up and stared at Lu Ming without blinking. His face was filled with surprise, anticipation, curiosity, and other emotions. Lu Ming also heard Lu Shenhuang's voice. He turned to look at Lu Shenhuang and their eyes met. Lu Ming nodded slightly and smiled. Lu Shenhuang took in a deep breath and suppressed his excitement. He stepped forward onto the fighting ring and faced Lu Ming. His mother's comments about his father rang in his mind. Unparalleled in the world. Seeing it today, it was indeed so. Father, Lu Shenhuang spoke again. Your mother is Xian Yinqing? Lu Ming could not help but ask. Even though he already knew that Lu Shenhuang's mother was definitely Xian Yinqing, he still could not help but ask to confirm. Yes, I am. Lu Shenhuang nodded his head firmly. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. Looking at Lu Shenhuang, who looked 70 to 80% similar to him, he had an inexplicable feeling in his heart. She didn't expect to have a son after a short separation with Xian Yinqing. Divine wilderness, retreat to the side. After I settle the matter here, I will go with you to find your mother. Lu Ming said. Okay. Lu Shenhuang nodded and retreated to his seat. Lu Ming turned around and faced Lan Cheng. At this moment, Lan Cheng's face revealed a ferocious expression, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Lu Ming, you still dare to appear here? Good, very good. Lan Cheng said coldly. Why can't I be here? Lu Ming asked with a cold smile. A few years ago, on the battlefield outside the Two World City, you killed the beings of the heaven realm and seized their treasures and resources. This is a serious crime, and you have to pay with your life. Lan Cheng coldly said. Ha 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 ha, what a good thief crying thief caught thief. In that case, I'll explain everything today. Lu Ming laughed heartily. Then, he recounted how the Lan family and the Yin family had besieged him, and how Bai Tai and the rest had arrived. But the Lan family and the Yin family had killed them to keep their mouths shut. There's actually such a thing. Many people's gazes flickered, and they revealed thoughtful expressions. Back then, the Lan family had announced to the public that Lu Ming had killed people and robbed them of their treasures. The Lan family and the Yin family had come across them and attacked Lu Ming according to the rules of Two World City. Could it be that there was such a secret? Simply a bunch of nonsense. Lan Cheng berated. Nonsense. I suspect that the people of the Lan family were ordered by you, Lan Cheng, to seize my indestructible ancient scroll. In the end, when they were discovered, you killed them and framed me. Such an act is not worthy of being called a big family in the heaven realm. In my opinion, the one who should be punished is you, the Lan family. Lu Ming shouted. Impudent. How dare you slander me? Today, no matter how glib your tongue is, you'll be punished. Men, take Lu Ming down, cripple his cultivation and put him in jail. Lan Cheng shouted. Bang! Bang! Immediately, 2 experts from the Lan family stepped out. They exuded a powerful aura and rushed towards Lu Ming. These were 2 great emperors, and they were extremely powerful. Let's see who dares to Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu shouted coldly as a terrifying aura erupted from his body. With a wave of his hand, a huge hand formed and pressed down on the two Lan clan Heavenly Emperors. Hung Yu, I'm afraid that it's not up to you to protect Lu Ming. Lan Qing roared and rushed out. His Heavenly Emperor realm cultivation base also burst out. He pressed his big hand, and a heavenly lion roared and pounced toward the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor's big hand. Boom! A deafening explosion was heard, and Lan Qing's expression changed drastically. His body was sent flying, and he looked at the Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor in shock. He was no match for Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu, and he was forced to retreat with a single strike. At the same time, the two great emperors of the Lan clan were also sent flying by the residual force of the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor's attack. Hung Yu, do you think you can break the rules of the Heaven Realm by yourself? Did he want to fight against everyone? Lu Ming has committed a crime and must be punished. Lan Qing roared. The ones who are guilty are the Lan family. The ones who are going against the Heaven Realm are the Lan family. Lu Ming shouted. What a load of nonsense. Lan Qing said. Hee, if what I said is a bunch of nonsense, then what you said isn't it all bullshit? Lu Ming berated coldly. How audacious, Lan Qing bellowed. Lu Ming was a junior, yet he dared to go against him and talk back to him at every turn. How presumptuous. He was so furious that he wished he could kill Lu Ming with a slap. Fellow Taoists, give me a hand. Lan Qing's gaze turned to the Yin family's Heavenly Emperor, the Luo family's Heavenly Emperor, and the Vast Expanse Shrine Master. These forces were all on good terms with the Lan family, and even had marriage relations with the Lan family. Lu Ming killed his fellow Taoists in the Heaven Realm and seized their treasures. In my opinion, he could rise so quickly because of this method. He is guilty of a great crime and should be punished. The Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor stepped out and stood side by side with Lan Qing. Their powerful auras burst forth as they fought against the Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor together. That's right. We must capture Lu Ming today, cripple his cultivation, and interrogate him strictly. The Heavenly Emperor of the Luo clan also stepped out. Then two more people stepped out. They were both at the Heavenly Emperor realm. One of them was the Lord of the Vast Expanse Palace, and the other was the Master of the Xing River. They were both terrifying Heavenly Emperor powerhouses. The 5 Heavenly Emperor powerhouses stood together, and their aura was shocking. Hung Yu, I've said it before. You can't stop us alone today. We must take Lu Ming down. Lan Qing sneered and glared at Lu Ming. He stretched out his hand, and the terrifying power condensed into a huge hand that grabbed at Lu Ming. You dare? Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu roared. Chapter 23-24. Chapter 23-24. Everyone shocked. Chapter 23-24. Chapter 2324. Everyone shocked. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu let out a long howl as heavenly Tao might burst forth, causing the entire world to tremble. It was terrifying to the extreme. Boom! The Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor made his move. A combat sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed at Lan Qing. Hung Yu will fight you. The master of the Eternal Star River was a gray-robed elder. He made his move and struck out a palm toward the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor. The two of them exchanged a blow, and were evenly matched. The master of the Eternal Star River was also an extremely terrifying existence. He was an expert even among the Heavenly Emperors, and was not weaker than the Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor. At this moment, the huge hand from Land City was already approaching Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming stood calmly on the fighting ring. His expression did not change, as if he had not seen Lan Qing's attack. At this moment, an old man suddenly appeared beside Lu Ming. The old man's face was calm as he threw out a punch. This punch did not have the slightest surge of energy, nor did it contain any power of laws. It was just pure strength. However, when this punch was thrown out, Lan Qing's big hand directly exploded. The terrifying fist force continued to blast toward Lan Qing. Lan Qing's expression changed, and he hurriedly used a divine art. A heavenly lion pounced out. There was a loud boom, and Lan Qing's body trembled. He could not help but retreat. He looked at the old man beside Lu Ming in shock. Immemorial body cultivator. You're an immemorial body cultivator, a body cultivator of the Heavenly Emperor realm. Who are you? Lan Cheng roared in shock. He did not expect that Lu Ming would have a Heavenly Emperor with him. Moreover, it was a body cultivator that he had never seen before. A Heavenly Emperor realm body cultivator. In the crowd, Bao's eyes emitted an excited light. At the scene, the others were also shocked. There was a Heavenly Emperor level body cultivator by Lu Ming's side, helping him at the critical moment. Ancient body cultivators were almost lost to the present day. There were very few people who cultivated it, and even fewer who could successfully cultivate it. Today, in the Heaven realm, there was only one known physical cultivator who could reach the Heavenly Emperor realm, but it was definitely not the person in front of him. Could it be that this body cultivator hasn't come out and has been living in seclusion? Someone guessed. Fellow Taoist, are you going to make an enemy out of me and the Lan family just because of a junior? Lan Cheng stared at the old man and spoke coldly. His words revealed a hint of threat. Whoever dares to touch him, I'll kill him with one punch. The old man pointed at Lu Ming and said indifferently. It was very simple and clear, but it made people stunned. He would kill anyone who dared to touch Lu Ming with one punch. This caused many people to gasp. This was something that a Heavenly Emperor had said, so no one would doubt it. Lan Cheng's face also darkened. He said, I'm afraid that you alone won't be enough. The Yen Luo and Vast Expanse Palace lords also unleashed their terrifying auras toward the elder. However, in the next moment, 3 more elders appeared beside Lu Ming. They were dressed in the same way as the previous elder. Their faces were calm, but a terrifying aura burst out, crushing the auras of the Yin family's Celestial Varch and the others. In the city of Lan, the Celestial Varch of the Yin family and the others narrowed their eyes in disbelief. Heavenly Emperor. All of them were Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses, and they were all body cultivators. How was this possible? At the scene, the others were also shocked and dumbfounded. Lu Ming had so many Heavenly Emperor powerhouses by his side. This force was too terrifying. The Lan family could not do anything to Lu Ming. Damn it, how is this possible? Where did these experts come from? Lan Cheng roared in his heart. As a Heavenly Emperor, he had seen or heard of all the Heavenly Emperors in the Tai Ching Heavenly region. However, he had never heard of these elders. So many Heavenly Emperor realm body cultivators. Where did they come from? Could it be one of those old monsters hiding in the dark? Lan Cheng couldn't help but think. There were naturally some hidden old monsters in the Tai Ching Heavenly region, or the primordial realm. Their cultivation strength was terrifyingly strong, and they usually cultivated in seclusion. Only when the alien races launched a truly terrifying war would these strong cultivators come out. At this moment, many thoughts flashed through Lan Cheng's mind. Blue City, hand over all the people who tried to kill me on the battlefield, as well as the people who killed Senior Bai Tai and the others. Also hand over all the people from the Yin clan. I want to see them all. Lu Ming took a step forward and glared at Lan Cheng. His voice spread throughout the entire area. Lu Ming would not let off any of those who had attacked him. All of them had to die. Preposterous. Those people were clearly killed by you. And now you actually want me to call for help. Lan Cheng roared. At this moment, he still insisted that Lu Ming killed him and snatched his treasure. Lu Ming, although I don't know where you found your helpers, the Lan family is not afraid of you. Lan Cheng continued to speak loudly, and a shocking aura burst out from his body. The Yen Luo and Vast Expanse Palace Heavenly Emperors also raised their auras to the maximum. The heavens and earth were filled with the terrifying pressure of the Heavenly Tao. Bang! 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 A few body cultivators took a small step forward. This small step caused the entire ground to shake, and the fighting stage under their feet turned into dust. Lan Cheng's group's expressions changed slightly, and they couldn't help but take a few steps back. In the clash of auras, they were at a disadvantage, and this made their expressions extremely ugly. Everyone, are you going to just watch as Lu Ming acts arrogantly? This guy killed people and stole their treasures. His character is extremely vile, but he's very talented. We can't let him continue to grow. Lan Cheng looked at the others. Today, there were not only Heavenly Emperors from the Yin family and the Luo family. There were also a few other Heavenly Emperors But they didn't have a good relationship with the Lan family, so they didn't attack. At this moment, the eyes of these people flickered. They were considering whether to help the Lan family or not. The talent that Lu Ming had displayed was too shocking. If this continued, he would become a peak expert sooner or later. Moreover, he had the help of many powerful experts by his side. They had offended Lu Ming. If Lu Ming did not die, they would be the ones in trouble in the future. Therefore, these people were hesitant. I'm definitely going to get those people today, Lu Ming said coldly, and then sent a message. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Lu Ming sent out the news, a violent roar came from the depths of the sky. Then the sky split open, and a huge palace appeared in the depths of the sky. Above it, there was a gray fog. This is Primal Chaos Palace. Many people's pupils contracted in shock. The Primal Chaos Palace of the Primal Chaos Emperor was extremely famous in the Heaven Realm. Although the Primal Chaos the Arch had died long ago, he had left behind some powerful puppets. More than 10 years ago, they had fought in another battlefield and displayed terrifying strength. Why had the Primal Chaos Hall suddenly appeared here? Everyone was puzzled. At this moment, 9 beams of light flew out from the Primal Chaos Palace. They were 9 figures, each of them exuding an astonishing aura. The Celestial Emperor, the aura of the Heavenly Emperor. The 9 figures were all Heavenly Emperors. Chapter 23-25. I'm not here to reason. Chapter 23-25. I'm not here to reason. In the blink of an eye, 9 figures emerged from the Primal Chaos Palace and stood in the sky above the square. At the scene, everyone held their breath. This was because these 9 figures were all at the Heavenly Emperor realm. 9 Heavenly Emperors had come all at once. What a terrifying force this was. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. These 9 people were Earth 1, Gold 1, and the others. They had been in the vicinity for a long time. They only appeared when Lu Ming sent them a voice transmission. So it's the Dao brothers of the Primal Chaos Palace. The daughter of my Lan family is getting married today. I didn't expect that all of you would be here. It's an honor. Lan Qing had a bright smile on his face as he greeted Earth 1 and the rest. However, Earth 1 and the rest ignored Lan Qing and flew directly to Lu Ming. They then bowed to Lu Ming. This subordinate greets the young master. What? Everyone was stunned. Most of the people had a dazed look on their faces. Their eyes were wide open, and their mouths were agape. At this moment, they seemed to have become idiots. What did the 9 Heavenly Emperors of the Chaos Hall call Lu Ming? Young master? The 9 Heavenly Emperors of the Chaos Hall were Lu Ming's subordinates? At this moment, many people felt that their brains had turned into mush, and it was difficult for them to think. They even thought that they were dreaming. Lan Qing's expression also froze. His eyes were wide open with disbelief, followed by a trace of fear. Even the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor and the other elders were a little surprised. They did not expect that Lu Ming had so many terrifying powerhouses behind him. Lu Ming is Lu Ming indeed. Long Chun desolately, and the other sighed. Nest, I want to hang out with Lu Ming. I'll follow him no matter what in the future. I'm not a dog. The unscrupulous monk chanted the name of Buddha madly. Is this my father? Lu Shenhuang mumbled as he looked at the figure standing among the many heavenly emperors. It was as if the stars were surrounding the moon. At this moment, Lu Shenhuang felt a little proud. This was because this person was his father. Although it was the first time they had met, he still felt proud and excited. Primal Chaos Hall, damn it. All of this should have been mine. Mine. In the crowd, Yuan Xian was roaring in her heart. Her eyes were red with jealousy. Yuan Xian had seen Earth 1, and the rest back then. Back then, Yuan Xian and the others had told him that he had to defeat Lu Ming in order to become the young master of the Chaos Hall. However, Lu Ming had defeated him in the end, and he had naturally lost the right to inherit the Chaos Hall. What he didn't expect was that Earth 1 and the rest were actually powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor realm. This made him go crazy with jealousy. How great would it be if he inherited all of this? But now, he could only roar in his heart and didn't dare to make a sound. He was extremely sullen. Seniors, there's no need to be so polite. I've troubled all of you today. Lu Ming smiled. Young master's enemies are our enemies. Tui said. He then turned around and looked at Lan Cheng and the others. The 9 heavenly emperors' auras were so terrifying that Lan Cheng and the others' expressions changed drastically as they retreated. The difference was too great. There were more than a dozen heavenly emperors on Lu Ming's side. They completely crushed Lan Cheng and the others. Their expressions were extremely ugly. Hand over those people from back then, not a single one less. Lu Ming stared at Lan Cheng and said coldly, Lu Ming, you're the one who killed them and stole their treasures. The people of the Lan family are only following the rules of the heaven realm. That's why we're hunting you down. Yet, you harbor a grudge and want to kill them. This is outrageous. I alone can fight against an army of 10,000 men and horses. Kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and threw another punch. A few Lan family experts were blown up. Run, run. Lan Yin was also mixed in with the crowd. He was running away in fear. To him, Lu Ming was simply a lunatic. However, at the next moment, he shouted in horror because Lu Ming had his eyes on him. Lu Ming appeared above his head in a flash and stomped on Lan Yun's face. Lan Yun screamed in pain, and his body fell heavily to the ground. He kept screaming in pain. Let go of Lan Yun. Lan Qing bellowed, his eyes red. Lan Yun wasn't an ordinary person. He was a peak-grade Heaven's Pride expert, and had the potential to become a Heaven sovereign in the future. He couldn't die. He charged at Lu Ming with all his might, but he was blocked by Tui. Hand him over. Lu Ming's reply was a simple word, his voice resounding and powerful. At this moment, the scene was silent, and time and space seemed to have frozen. There was only one person in everyone's eyes, and that was Lu Ming. Who would have thought that such a scene would happen today? Lu Ming killed the Lan family's experts in front of Lan City and the Heavenly Emperor, while Lan City was helpless. Chapter 23-26. The Lan family's peerless expert. Chapter 23-26. The Lan family's peerless expert, the Luo clan's celestial Arch, the master of the eternal star river, and the others all had ugly expressions on their faces. However, none of them made a move. The forces that Lu Ming had brought were too powerful. If they made a move against more than 10 celestial thearchs, they would only be courting death. Young man, you've gone too far. At this moment, a voice suddenly rang out. The voice came from the depths of the Lan family. The voice was old and seemed to be filled with the aura of time. It was nothing to ordinary people. But when the Hungyu celestial Arch, Earth One, Gold One, and the others heard this voice, their faces changed drastically and revealed a grave expression. This was because this voice brought them great pressure. Ancestor, ancestor! Lan Qing shouted in excitement. Many people were shocked. Legend had it that the Lan family had a peerless expert guarding it. He had been hiding in the depths of the Lan family and was in seclusion all year round. That was a 4-star heavenly emperor. Could it be this one? Was the Lan family's peerless expert about to be born? Boom! Just as everyone was lost in their thoughts, an aura burst out from the depths of the Lan family. This aura was ancient and powerful, shaking the world. Even the heavenly emperor realm figures could feel the terrifying pressure, and their faces turned extremely serious. Boom! It was as if an ancient heavenly Tao was pressing down on everyone's hearts. Many of the weaker cultivators had to kneel down. Then, a figure appeared in the depths of the Lan family. It was an old man wearing a coarse linen robe. His white hair fluttered in the wind as he walked through the air. Every step he took seemed to be stepping on people's hearts, making their hearts beat faster. We pay our respects to the ancestor. The people of the Lan family saluted one after another, their faces revealing wild joy. Ha ha ha, the Lan family's old ancestor has been born. Lu Ming, you dare to kill a member of the Lan family? You're dead. You're dead. I'm going to skin you alive and pull out your tendons so that you'll never be able to reincarnate. Lan Yun roared, his face filled with madness and malevolence. Is that so? In that case, I can't let you go even more. Lu Ming's expression was calm as he spoke indifferently. His voice was filled with cold, killing intent. Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? Lan Yun's expression changed drastically as he roared. Bang! Lu Ming stomped down hard on Lan Yun's face. A terrifying force burst out. Lan Yun screamed in pain. All the bones in his body were shattered by Lu Ming. His meridians were also blasted into pieces by Lu Ming. Lan Yun turned into a pile of mud and collapsed on the ground. His eyes were wide open and filled with disbelief. He wasn't dead, but he couldn't even scream. The others gasped and looked at Lu Ming in shock. They thought that Lu Ming would not dare to make a move now that the unparalleled expert of the Lan family had appeared. However, he had severely injured Lan Yun with one kick in front of the unparalleled expert of the Lan family. Lu Ming, you're courting death. Lan Chung roared. The Lan family's patriarch's face darkened. The other party actually severely injured Lan Yun right in front of him. This was completely smacking his face. Young people are young and impetuous, not knowing the severity of things. Now let go of Lan Yun. Kneel down and cripple your cultivation. The Lan clan's ancestor coldly spoke. Get lost. Lu Ming's response was only one word, get lost. This word made everyone's expression change drastically. Lu Ming was simply too audacious. He actually asked a peerless expert to get lost. The Lan family's patriarch's face turned completely dark as he said coldly, "You're so young, yet you don't know your place. I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your elders." As soon as the Lan family's patriarch finished speaking, he took a step forward and charged toward Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. However, the next moment, an old man appeared in front of Lu Ming. He was a grand elder of the body cultivators. Get lost! The Lan family's ancestor shouted coldly as he stretched out a large hand and grabbed at the body cultivator grand elder. He was a peerless powerhouse, and ordinary heavenly emperors were no match for him. However, this body cultivator grand supreme elder had a calm expression as he threw a punch. Bang! The physical cultivator grand elder's fist collided with the Lan family patriarch's palm. However, the result was beyond everyone's expectations. The Lan family patriarch's expression changed drastically, and his body trembled as if he had been electrocuted. He retreated continuously. One of his arms was deformed. As for the body cultivator grand elder, his body didn't even shake. Everyone couldn't help but widen their eyes. This body cultivator was actually able to force back the Lan family's peerless expert with one punch. This was too shocking. Could he also be a peerless expert? Lu Ming's expression was calm. There was indeed an unparalleled expert among the body cultivators. He was the most powerful grand elder of the immemorial body cultivators. So you're a fellow Taoist. I'd like to experience it today. The Lan family's patriarch spoke coldly as he pushed his strength to the limit. Boom! The Lan family's patriarch's body enlarged rapidly, turning into a giant that could support the heavens and earth. He struck out a terrifying move. A divine light slashed down violently at the body cultivator elder. Heavenly Emperor powerhouses were able to borrow the power of the heavenly Tao to launch terrifying attacks. This beam of divine light contained the power of the heavenly Tao, which was indestructible and could destroy everything. However, the body cultivator grand elder still only threw a punch. This punch seemed to be able to pierce through the universe and destroy the heavenly Tao. Boom! The divine light that the Lan family patriarch had sent out was pierced through. The terrifying fist force pierced through the heavens and earth. The Lan family's ancestor let out a muffled groan as his body retreated rapidly. After retreating tens of thousands of miles, his body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air, their hearts in turmoil. The Lan family's ancestor had been defeated. He had been beaten by a body cultivator to the point where he spat out blood in one move. He was completely outmatched. How did this happen? Lan City, the other members of the Lan family, and the Yin family's celestial Varch were all shocked and in disbelief. Even the Lan family's old ancestor was no match for him, and was injured by a single punch. Lan Yun's eyes revealed a look of despair. Hand him over. At this moment, Lu Ming continued to speak, his voice getting colder. Ow! The Lan family's ancestor sighed, and revealed a helpless expression. He understood that he was no match for the old body cultivator. If he were to fight, he would definitely be the one to die. Lu Ming, the Lan family can hand over the person, but you have to let Lan Yun go. The Lan family's patriarch looked at Lu Ming. Let Lan Yun go? Are you waiting for him to take revenge on me? Didn't you hear him shouting that he wanted me to suffer a fate worse than death? Moreover, in the past, Lan Yin wanted to kill me at every turn. I've already let him off a few times. But he didn't know how to cherish the opportunity. Then there will be no future. Lu Ming said coldly. Lan Yin revealed an expression of fear and despair, wanting to struggle with all his might. However, all the bones and meridians in his body had been shattered by Lu Ming. He could not move at all. Boom! Lu Ming's energy burst forth and bombarded Lan Yun's body. Lan Yun's body immediately exploded, turning into ashes and dissipating. A top-notch genius was killed by Lu Ming just like that. The eyes of Lan City and the other experts of the Lan family turned red, and their hearts were bleeding. The Lan family had produced many Heaven's favorites in this generation. They only had 2 top Heaven's favorites, but now, one of them was killed in front of everyone. Moreover, he did it in front of Lan City, the Lan family's ancestor, and countless experts. This was a slap in the face. Chapter 23-27. Crushing a True Emperor. Chapter 23-27. Crushing a True Emperor. The Lan family's patriarch, Lan Cheng, and the rest were shocked and furious. Cold killing intent emanated from their bodies, and they could not wait to slap Lu Ming to death. However, when they saw the Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor, the Body Cultivators, and the 9 Heavenly Emperors of the Primal Chaos Palace, they held back. With so many Heavenly Emperor powerhouses, there were even peerless powerhouses. This force was enough to wipe the Lan family off the face of the earth. Therefore, they did not dare to kill Lu Ming. In fact, if they wanted to kill Lu Ming in the future, they would not dare to let anyone know. Otherwise, this force would be enough to kill them. They were mad with hatred, but now they could only hold it in. Hand him over. Lu Ming spoke indifferently again. Lan Cheng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. The other members of the Lan family were the same. The Lan family's patriarch's face was extremely gloomy as he squeezed out a word. Hand over. Go and find those people who attacked Lu Ming back then. Lan Cheng ordered. Not long after, a few true Emperor Realm powerhouses from the Lan family arrived. They were the ones who had killed Bai Tai and Lu Ming. At this moment, these people looked at Lu Ming in horror. Yin family, where are your people? Lu Ming looked at the Yin family's celestial arch and said coldly. The Yin family's people are not here. It will take time to call them over. The Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor spoke. They'll be waiting here. Lu Ming spoke calmly, and really started to wait there. At the scene, everyone was discussing in low voices. No one left, and they all waited here. Time passed day by day. Finally, a ray of light rushed over from the distance. The Yin clan had arrived. Some of them were the ones who had attacked Lu Ming back then. When they saw Lu Ming, their expressions changed drastically. They were in disbelief. They had thought that Lu Ming was dead. They did not expect that Lu Ming was not dead, and was still alive and well. Then an expert from the Yin family explained everything to the Yin family. He didn't tell them before because he was afraid that they would resist and escape. Upon hearing this, the Yin family members were horrified. They could not believe that Lu Ming had actually forced the Yin family's celestial arch to hand them over. Back then, it was the Yin family's celestial arch who ordered them to attack Lu Ming. Now the Yin family's celestial arch was going to hand them over for self-protection. However, they didn't dare to make a sound. This was the Heavenly Emperor's decision, and they couldn't go against his orders. They still had their family and friends. There were dozens of people from the Lan and Yin families. Lu Ming's gaze swept across these people. He remembered each and every one of them very clearly. When Lu Ming's gaze swept over them, these people revealed looks of fear. Boom! Lu Ming took a step forward and the void trembled. I can give you a chance to fight me. As long as you can kill me, you can live. Lu Ming said indifferently. The eyes of the Lan family and the Yin family lit up. Even the eyes of the Lan family's patriarch, Lan Cheng, and the Yin family's celestial arch lit up. Although Lu Ming had defeated Xianyuan Yi, Xianyuan Yi's combat strength was only at the level of a rank 15 true emperor. These people, on the other hand, had the combat strength of a rank 17 true emperor. One of them had even made a breakthrough in the past 2 years, and reached the level of a rank 18 true emperor. Among them, there were more than 10 with the battle strength of a level 16 and level 15 true emperor. Such power was enough to kill Lu Ming. This was a great opportunity. Lu Ming was courting death. If he killed Lu Ming like this, the Heavenly Emperor of the Primal Chaos Palace, the Body Cultivator Heavenly Emperor, and the others would have nothing to say. In particular, there were 2 level 17 true emperors and 1 level 18 true emperor. Their combat strength was the most shocking, and they launched a sure kill attack. Die! Lu Ming did not dodge, but threw a punch. An expert with the combat power of a level 17 true emperor was directly defeated by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's fist force did not stop and crushed his body. He let out a cry of despair as his body was torn apart. Buzz! Lu Ming's body spun, and his right leg swept out like a long whip towards another rank, 17 true emperor powerhouse. This person could not withstand a single blow. Just like the previous one, he was sent flying tens of thousands of miles away by Lu Ming's leg and exploded. What? Everyone was shocked. In particular, those who had fought with Lu Ming were shocked. They looked frightened and incredulous. The 2 powerhouses with the combat power of a rank 17 true emperor could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. They were like babies. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.